Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Thunder Gals. It's Brittany, aka Oklahoma Soda Gal, here with you with my co-host Paula.
Hello, waving to everyone listening to us on audio. You can't see me talking with my hands.
And if you're seeing the captions on YouTube, I'm sorry that it's misspelling Oklahoma Soda Gal into something like I'm a soda person or something instead of SOTA for Minnesota. It's like SODA, like a soda pop.
You're Oklahoma soda gal.
Yeah.
You're a gal who likes Oklahoma sodas.
There are some that are good. I've been out there to that cool soda shop on Route 66 up in
Oh, out in
Arcadia.
Arcadia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got some good stuff
that's really
there.
cool. Pops. Pops is what it's
Pops,
called.
yes. Good stuff. All right. Well, we are back after a All-Star break week where there have been no Thunder games in between our last recording and this recording. There's been some
No.
activity. Our guys have been taking part in some All-Star festivities, all kinds of other stuff going on.
I'm
So I
so glad
guess
I was wrong about that. Thinking
yes,
Shay was
what
going to miss that. I'm so
Shay
glad I was wrong.
Shay was out there, still had his activations as part of All-Star Weekend. It looked like I saw Mayor Holt actually was out in LA and dropped into the Shay thing. He had like a cool like 50s or 60s convertible outside the
Yes, all
event
sueded out.
that was suede to look like the suede on his new shoes that are dropping.
The
Um,
truffle.
the truffle. Yes. Of
Oh,
course he's
which
he's got to
is very
name it
nice.
something exquisite like that.
Well, he said he wanted it to be, a little more dressed up. So I thought, okay, Shay's got more style
I'm
in his
maybe we got to
eyelash.
get some because we could wear those as dress shoes, right?
You know, if I dressed up, that would be good.
I have to sometimes because I go to court. It happens.
I do have
Um,
to leave the house sometimes, so but
I
they'd
have
make great
noticed
house shoes.
I have noticed some guy attorneys in Oklahoma County who
Uh-huh.
show up in court wearing like they'll get the old Air Jordans that were the shiny black Air Jordans that look
Oh yeah?
like at a glance they look like regular dress shoes if you're not paying attention. So it's a
But they're
nice way
comfy.
to be able to wear a comfortable shoe that still kind of looks dressy and that like you can sneak it by the judges, not thinking that you're being, rude to the court or something.
True. And then you can wear these truffles and tell the judge, Shay said they were for dress up. I can't, this is, I, and if Shay says so, then it must be good.
I have one fun Oklahoma County court story that I'm going to share here just because it's timely. Only time I've ever been yelled at by a judge for not being dressed appropriately for a courtroom happened in Oklahoma County, and it was Judge Barbara Swenton. I guess she was one of those older school types that like remembered the days when women had to wear skirts and pantyhose as part of their suits. And so she
Yes.
was very rigid about the kind of dress code in her courtroom. I didn't know this. I was a young attorney. It was, I was still learning my what I could get away with. I dressed nice. I had a nice like sweater on top of a top and nice dress pants and my dress shoes. And I had worn this outfit to some other courtrooms with like no issue.
Right.
And I had this hearing one day where the other side wasn't even going to be there. It was an unopposed motion, and I just had an order that needed to be signed. So I thought I'll be in and out real quick. I'll just go up and have her sign this document. Well, I get up to the bench when our case gets called. I hand her the order, and she's like, Miss Novotny, You are not dressed appropriately for my courtroom. I will not be signing this order right now. You can come back to chambers after lunch and I'll sign it in there. And next time you want something signed in my courtroom, you'll dress appropriately. And I was just like a deer in headlights. Like,
Oh my
oh my
gosh.
goodness, like this feels very unnecessary for the level of offense here. Like,
Yeah. Wow.
but I did. I went and got it signed later that day, but I just blew my mind that like no one had ever, yelled at me for my attire in court before that. I just was like, wow.
I had been into some court proceedings, not mine, over the last, year or so. And I you talk about dressing appropriately, I was raised you dress a certain way when you go to court or go to church or, when you dress up, you dress up. But I was very surprised to see so many people dress so casually in the courtroom, and the gentleman that I was there with, he had worn a tie because I had made sure when you go to court you wear a tie. And he did, and the judge actually complimented him on the tie and said, "Thank you for wearing a tie in my courtroom." And I just thought it was so unusual for a judge to think that, because that should have been the default. But the casualness has changed in all. I mean, Lord knows I do not dress up when I get on a plane. No, 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 no.
If you get to the initial appearance docket in Oklahoma County ever on the criminal court docket,
Which
there
I
are some
won't.
people, I've seen people showing up in pajamas and stuff in that courtroom.
It
It's
is
just
just, I don't know. I'm just old
unbelievable.
school. I dress down for most things, but if there is an instance that I will dress up, it will be appropriate. Like when I go see Nikki T, I am going to wear my Nikki T jersey. When I go see Russ, I'm going to wear my Russ jersey. I will dress appropriately.
That is appropriate. And speaking of courts, we had some guys
Oh,
on the court at All-Star Weekend.
look at
Um,
that. Look at that. That was
we had
beautiful.
Chet Holmgren taking part in the Shooting Stars competition, and we had our own new guy, Jared McCain, who's also a birthday boy today. Happy
Birthday
birthday, Jared.
boy.
He took part as he was the active player as part of the celebrity 3-point contest. They had like one active player, one retired player, and some celebrities that were part of that contest.
Mhm.
And of course, J Mac won because,
Yes. Not just one, MVP.
yeah. So,
Love it.
J Mac, congrats. Chet, on the other hand, was part of a Shooting Stars team that had the misfortune of their celebrity passer being Drewski.
Oh, bless his
And Drewski's passes were not really on the mark.
Not efficient. His efficiency rating was not strong.
So
Oh.
that really hurt the team's chance of winning that competition because it was about, make you had to make these baskets within a certain time frame. And if you're running after the pass that went over your head, it's really hard to make enough shots.
Yeah, tends to run the clock down a little bit. But Chet made up for it though. He
Yes,
was on the All-Star team that ended up winning the All-Star game.
he was.
Yay.
Which, I wasn't sure what this format would produce this year. This was a whole new
Right.
format. We had two American teams and a world team, and they had a round robin tournament for like each one lasted the length of a 12-minute quarter.
Yeah.
So that what would have been the fourth quarter was the championship game between the top two teams. And Chet's team got the victory, so that was awesome. And he got some good playing time in that game
He
as
did
well.
actually.
Um, it was a much more competitive setup that way. It did seem to fix the issue of, the lack of competitiveness of the last few years of kind of guys going out there and just not really trying and just throwing up wild shots. And
And
there
just
was less of
craft.
that this time. So,
Yeah. That mid-game slump that they always had when they just weren't really doing, and then they would try to be excited for the last 2 minutes. But this one, I think it solved some of that. So be interesting to see if they carry it forward. I saw a lot more positive feedback on the game this year compared to last year, but they need to settle on something and decide if if All-Star Weekend is still, I don't want to say relevant, but the celebrities, quote unquote. Um, okay, I know I'm of a different generation than a lot of the celebrities right now, but I didn't know a lot of them. So I
yeah.
wasn't invested in a lot of them. So, but I will say while we're talking about events and creators, there were a bunch of NBA Threads creators that participated in the skills contest, the creator skills, which was cool.
Yeah, I was out and about that day, so I did not get to see the Creator Cup. But I saw several of them posting from it and posting about it. It was so exciting to see people we've built these threads relationships with over the last few years and folks we're close with, like
Yeah.
our Phoenix Suns fanatics friend Carrie, she had a good experience out there at least once she was at All-Star Weekend. It
Bless her heart,
sounds like
travel.
maybe the flights to and from left a lot to be desired for
No, but
poor
Aaron was
Carrie.
playing out there. Chris Lindsay was out there. I mean, and I know I'm not even listing everybody. I know Mayor was out there. He was washed and was on the bench, but he was there.
And
And
as any of you on NBA Threads followed last night, as Attorney General of NBA Threads, I have interpreted it, and my interpretation is Mayor of NBA Threads is the highest office in NBA Threads community. So there's not a governor, there's not a president. Mayor is the top.
we have the official ruling on that. The official bylaw reading is this. No, but I think it was fun, and I'm sure it is bringing in a new generation to watch this, and I'm not trying to say I'm some old head watching, but you know, hopefully with the new format will bring people more interest in it. I don't know.
I think it could. Definitely the ratings suggest that, it brought a lot more interest. It certainly helped that it was on a regular broadcast channel rather than a cable channel. That definitely made a difference in the ratings, but it was the highest rated All-Star game in 24 years. Really, the most
I wonder if it
negative.
was I was
Oh,
gonna say, I
what?
wonder if it was because it was during the day because of the Olympics. There was just so much going on.
I mean, between being on broadcast, maybe being in a different time slot, it did increase the ratings. So,
Well, that's good. Okay.
um, now the one thing I did hear a lot of negative feedback on was apparently the slam dunk contest.
Mm,
That apparently left a lot to be desired this year. And it really does. Like, I remember being a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, and the dunk contest always had like some of the top stars. Like, I watched Michael Jordan in dunk contests. Dominique Wilkins was in the dunk contests. Like, you know,
Vince
even
Carter, you
even
still
up
see
and
his.
up until the 20 teens, like, early in the teens, we had Blake Griffin at the height of his superstardom was winning the dunk
Jumping over
contest.
Kias, jumping over Kias, Oklahoma's
And
own.
then but the last several years you don't see any of the big names wanting to be in it. They all avoid it now. And I don't think you can make the dunk contest interesting unless you have the big names willing to be involved in it. So I feel like they either need to find a way to get big stars to come back to it or just be done with it because
Yeah.
having into the bench guys that no one's ever heard of in a dunk contest, it's just not going to bring eyeballs.
No, but you want to talk about being on the bench? Look who won the 3-point contest.
Damian
Dame
Lillard,
Lillard
I
hasn't
know.
played, and he comes out and he ends up winning the 3 point.
I
Oh,
love that, he's back in Portland now and technically on the Blazers roster, so he's out
uh-huh.
there in his Blazers gear
I love
winning the
that.
3-point That was a great 3-point contest, by the
It
way.
really was. That was fun to
Those
watch.
guys were shooting lights out first round. Like I saw more like the high like scores that would have typically got you to the finals of that were like not even enough in the first round this year.
Yeah.
So they were
I would have
really
liked to have
shooting.
seen Isaiah Joe there. I'll just say that.
I
But
I do
I
not
just thought it was
understand why they
I
snubbed Isaiah Joe and didn't invite him.
I
Don't
don't
get it.
know. I mean, it's the championship reigning team. I mean, it's clear
He's
anyway.
our best 3-point shooter and has been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league going on like 3 years now. Like
Right.
this is not
I don't
like
know.
he's not in the middle of some fluky season. Like, come
Right.
on
It's
now.
not, yeah, but maybe next year. Maybe next year.
So
I
fun times at the All-Star weekend.
Lots of
Got
things
got
going
some
on.
good love for the Thunder. Even though Shea didn't get to play, I still saw him doing interviews and they still made him a big part of the festivities. He still had all of his activations for his shoes and whatnot with Converse. So great to see.
Yeah, he was at Media Day, which I thought was great. He and Chet were next to each other, and Shay was just one of the highlights of media. I mean, there were so many people you could just see. But one of the interesting things about at Media Day, I don't know if you had heard this, but people were asking him about the Michael Jordan comparisons because of his numbers and stuff. And I didn't know
Hmm.
if you heard his response was, you know, he didn't like that. He doesn't love him. He doesn't like being compared to him because he's only been playing for 7 years compared to everything that MJ did. So I, once again, our humble PG just, puts himself says, let's temper expectations a little bit because he's certainly not done. He's
No,
certainly not done. So
I you
injury
know
though,
I will say the comparisons are apt. The
yeah.
numbers suggest that they are apt comparisons. But I can't imagine any player wanting to have to live up to MJ.
No, I mean, you want to put this bar, but like let's let Shay be Shay and appreciate and see what he can accomplish without continuing to I don't want to say pit him against it, but hold him to that to numbers that may not be relevant when Shay does hang up his Shay 001s.
Yeah. Now All-Star Weekend, it overshadowed something for one of our non-All-Star players.
Yeah.
Cason Wallace had, you told me, a jersey retirement ceremony.
He did. It was on Sunday. It was on the 15th. And his high school down in Richardson, Texas, did a jersey retirement for him. And I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that because there have been several this season. And I just think it's so great that our guys are getting recognized, back home. And there's so much, participation that comes from, the team and the organization. And I just wanted to make sure that with all of the all-star stuff going on, that we make sure we acknowledge Cason because he's such a big piece of us, and it's such an honor to have your number retired. I wanted to make sure we recognized him.
Yeah, and he's still only in his third NBA season.
Bless his heart, and
And
so young still.
he is, at the top of the league in steals. He is,
Yes.
he's become another Lou Dort out there that we can
Hmm.
depend on. And frankly, as this roster gets more expensive, and we might have to give up maybe a Lou Dort this offseason, we
Not
can
if Adam makes it a 37 member roster. I'm just putting
we
that out there.
we can take some solace in that we will still have a Cason Wallace there picking up that slack. So
Yeah.
it's really great to see, great honor for him. Although I do feel a little bad it happened during All-Star break because
No.
J-Dub got to do his high school jersey retirement with the whole team there, and you know it sucks that Kaysen didn't get to have Chet and Shea and everybody else there with him. But it's still a great honor, and I'm glad to see that he got that. And I did not want him to be overshadowed here on this podcast.
Absolutely not. No, we celebrate our players and what happens to them off the court too.
We do. And speaking of off the court, unfortunately, for another week at least, we will have SGA off the court.
Yeah, and
J
AJ.
AJ is AJ another week or 2 weeks?
AJ's another week, and J Dub is 2 weeks with
J
that
Dub is
hand.
the only one with the 2 weeks reevaluation. So at least one more week of none of the three of them, which what we have found this season is when all three of those guys are out, we are not winning at the rate we would like to be. So
Yes, we have some challenges during games when the three aren't there. I am surprised. I thought Shay, and again, I'm not on the medical team. I don't do evac, whatever. I really thought Shay would be back for the 24th for the game against the Raptors because it's in Toronto. Now, I'm sure Shay's going to be on that plane and up there. It's just, he likes to show out when he goes home.
he
So,
really does. He's tended to play well up in Toronto, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but it tells me like he really is hurt. Like,
yeah,
if he could go, he'd be going right now. So,
yeah. I would much rather they continue to be, cautious with him and let him heal properly than to rush him back unnecessarily sooner than he needs to, just to prepare him for the back half in June.
well,
June,
back third of the regular season. I guess it's half if you count all the playoff games that might come with it.
right? Well, we're playing until June, so I mean, we
So,
have months to go. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
yes.
I'm the optimist. I think it's going to happen. So, but yeah, the injuries, but maybe hopefully this week's rest for everybody has really helped.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Those are the only three injuries right now outside of Sorber. So Sorber's
Yeah.
out for the season, so that's fine. But so we really only have the three guys injured now. We will have both Chet and Hartenstein tonight against the Nets. So that's good. We will at least have our both of our bigs. That's going to be a big help. Definitely was noticeable not having them all together, plus not having anybody to set the table was,
Right.
was really difficult
That
against the
was,
Bucks. So
but it gave the deeper bench opportunities.
they're getting those opportunities, they're getting the reps, they're getting their chance to show out a little. And it's good. We'll, hopefully get some more J-Mac time, keep getting
Yeah.
him integrated into the team. Jared McCain has a YouTube channel,
Yes.
and I believe it went up either yesterday or the day before. He does have a new video out about
Hmm.
his All-Star Weekend experience. And in that video, he does talk about his new teammates and, talks about the first couple games being with the team. And he seemed really jazzed. He said he loves the vibes on the team. And he was like, these guys, great vibes. I love this team. he said he felt a little sad seeing Philadelphia jerseys. It still made him a little sad, but the excitement level for being on this team seemed through the roof. And I think he's going to be a really fun addition down the stretch here.
I'm excited for that. I haven't caught that yet. I caught some clips of it and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. He is so entertaining to watch. And I say that when knowing our guys are so entertaining.
You
And
get
so
some singing, you get some dancing. It's a good
fits
time.
right in. I mean, it fits the vibe culture like a glove. So no, I think that's great. But speaking of Thunder culture, we had the announcement that a Thunder legend is retiring. Chris
And
Paul.
and not just a Thunder legend, an OKC legend, Chris
This is
Paul.
true.
Because Chris Paul has connections to both the first chapter of NBA basketball in Oklahoma City and the Thunder chapter. As we might remember, he had his rookie season for the New Orleans Hornets at the time because they were still using that name, and he played for oh, here we go. Hopefully y'all are seeing that on the YouTube feed now. He played for the New Orleans, Oklahoma City Hornets his rookie season and his second season, those 2 years that they were playing the majority of their home games in OKC while New Orleans was recovering from Hurricane Katrina. And, you
He
know,
looks like a baby.
he
Look how
looks
young.
so young in those pictures, but he won Rookie of the Year during that rookie season for the New Orleans, Oklahoma City Hornets. So our
Yeah.
very first taste of NBA basketball in Oklahoma City, we got an NBA legend having his Rookie of the Year season in OKC.
Setting the
Um,
tone.
he set the tone for NBA basketball for the Oklahoma City to come.
Yes, absolutely. And I know I mentioned it a few weeks ago, his farewell tour being stopped abruptly by the Clippers when they sent him home. And to have the Raptors waive him last week, that was without even calling him up like that. And that was the end of it. Like he's waived. I mean, there wasn't another option for the rest of the year. So he chose to, and he put out a great retirement, acknowledgement letter to people and very gracious with you read between the lines on some of it, but again, gracious as he is, but man, what a shitty way to go out.
I
I
know.
mean, pardon my French. I don't know. I mean, he's one of the top 75. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just frustrating. So
I
anyway,
kind of wish he had just retired at the end of last season because he had a pretty decent year with the Spurs last year.
yeah.
He got to help kind of bring Wimby in and help set a tone for how to be a professional for that young squad in San Antonio, similar to what he was able to do when Shea was in his second season, freshly traded to the Thunder in 2019 and 20. And really, the Thunder rehabbed Chris Paul's career because there were people thinking he should already be retired then.
Yeah.
And then he ended up having a really great season for the Thunder and went on to have several more good years after that. So, um,
What was the statistic? It was like 0.001% chance of making the playoffs that year. And we ended up, making it to we were one hardened stop away from making it to the second round.
yeah, went to game 7 against that Harden Rockets.
Yeah.
And that Harden Rockets team, that was at a time when people thought Harden and the Rockets were real legit title contenders. And we had young Lou Dort young SGA along with old head Chris Paul out there
Mm-hmm.
giving them hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Shay was asked, because the retirement happened on Friday the 13th. But Shay, when he was doing media day, people were asking him about the retirement, and he was talking about, what an impact that both physically and mentally, because he helped him with training and eating and just the mental going into being, an NBA player and how they became so close off the court too. So of course Shay very complimentary of Chris and making such an impact. So he will always be a Oklahoma City basketball legend for us here.
Absolutely. Chris Paul, we salute you. Thank you for your years of service to this league. And I'm sure he will have a next chapter either doing analyst stuff in the media or he's going to join a coaching staff somewhere at some point. We have not heard the last of Chris Paul around NBA circles.
No, I would think so. So it'd be interesting to see his next chapter.
I can't wait for it. Well, we got one little fun thing we can talk about before we go here. The Chinese New Year happened recently. It is now the year of the horse. And Paula, you have been doing some research
Yeah,
into the Chinese zodiac for our various Thunder players.
I just looked it up because there wasn't anything else going on this week, and everybody was looking up what their signs were. And so I am Year of the Dog
And I am Year of
and
the Monkey.
Year of the Monkey, which Jared McCain is Year of the Monkey, birthday boy.
Woo!
So yes, so SGA and Hartenstein, they are tigers. And supposedly this year, again, beliefs, whatever, just the novelty of this. Strong year, momentum, and opportunity returning.
Hmm.
Now we have the most rabbits on the team with five,
Oh,
which is
wow.
a most challenging year. Yeah, Dort, Isaiah Joe, Boheim, Carlson, and Wiggins. They are all rabbits. Jalen Williams, he's a snake. Well, he is his animal in the Chinese zodiac is a snake.
Yeah,
There are
he's
other
not a
referenced
snake.
players, right? Not the snake that other people are associated with when they're spoken of. Um, you figured that out. Let's see. I know that sounds so terrible. Bless his heart. He was in the news this week with supposedly finding other burner accounts.
I
You
will
know,
just say this. Somebody has gone through all of them, and there is a website called the KD Files now.
is there
And
really?
somebody
Oh,
has pulled all of the ones from confirmed KD burner accounts and organized them for searching. So do with that what you will.
I
There's
will do
words
nothing
used that
with
I
that.
can't repeat here.
I will do absolutely nothing with that. Um, but anyway, the summary was the Thunder's outlook is pretty auspicious across the board. We have SGAs in a high luck year, core players, positive stretches, and even the horses and rabbits are called to grow and grind, which sounds like a championship formula, which
Sounds
I
like it.
agree.
All
It does
right.
sound like one. Anyway,
So
I just thought that was fun. This, nothing, no slide intended. No, I just thought, why not? It's a quiet week.
to any
And it
of
made me
our
laugh.
Chinese American fans out there, Happy New Year to you all.
Year of
And
the Fire Horse. Goodness.
so, this is fun. We're a very much an inclusive podcast here, so we are all about celebrating our diversity and celebrating all types of Americans and where we all come from, and people who aren't American as well.
Yes. It's all it's all inclusive, and it's so interesting to learn about the other things and how it impacts and how it all relates, because you know what, it really does. And sports, Olympics this week, is showing. I mean, it's the world. We're all coming together, the best and the brightest, the NBA, the Euro League. Sports speaks to people across the world. So,
Absolutely. And that's why we love it.
yes, absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, I think that does it for this week's episode. Tonight we've got the Brooklyn Nets in town for a City Nights edition with the fun alternate court and the alternate uniforms. Paula's probably going to throw on her Nikki T jersey later.
Yeah. He's not on the
And
injured list. We're that jersey's going to get a lot of wear for the rest of the season.
And then hopefully by this time next week, we're talking about Shay's coming back and we're talking AJ coming back. And we'll see
Yes.
how these next few games go without them. And just be glad that our guys are getting some minutes and we get more Aaron Wiggins, more Isaiah Joe, more Jared McCain. And we'll see what these guys can do without J Dub and SGA and AJ setting the table for them.
It's true. Well, I
Ah.
guess we'll see y'all next week then.
All right, y'all. Peace and thunder up. Oh, smash that subscribe button.
Oh, smash that button. Yes.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.